Hey there, welcome back to Longtail University. Today is lesson 1. We're going to talk about different types of keywords. So before you jump in and just start going nuts with keyword research, you absolutely must think about your own goals because you're likely going to need different types of keywords based on those goals. And so today we're going to cover what those different keywords are. So if you're producing highly social content, or if you already have a killer Facebook page, you may not need to invest as heavily in SEO-driven keywords. On the other hand, if you want long-term consistent traffic, you might not want to target social keywords. Or you might be shooting for a more comprehensive strategy that targets all types of keywords, but you want to get the best ROI out of them. So we're going to cover all of these different things, and of course why I think a comprehensive strategy really is the best strategy. So whatever your strategy is, here's the point. You have to understand what your goals are, the pros, the cons of each type of keyword. It's absolutely crucial to setting the best strategy for your own site. Here's a quick overview. In this lesson, we're going to cover first, different types of keywords and the purposes that they serve. 2, the benefits of each. And 3, which keywords you need to use for your site. A few different types of keywords that we are going to cover are, of course, SEO keywords, viral keywords, which are your more socially shareable keywords, Google News keywords, buying keywords, and there is more, of course. But no matter what kind of site that you have, this is probably a good recommendation. You need to target at least a few different types of keywords, usually about 3. And here's why. Targeting different types of keywords diversifies your traffic. It also helps you have a more well-rounded site. This protects against thin content penalties many times. You get more combined traffic than any one form. So this can equal more revenue, leads, and subscribers. And of course, each serves different goals. This might be, keywords that are meant to bring in the money versus keywords that are meant to bring in links or traffic. It also builds authority by being a fun, more informative, and helpful site that can allow people to get to your products and solutions much easier in a variety of different ways. So, SEO keywords in a nutshell. They are used to rank well in Google and capture organic traffic for targeted search terms. These are the most commonly talked about types of keywords. It's something that you want to rank in Google for. There are some pros and cons. Pros, first, these are more set it and forget it type keywords. They're consistent long-term, highly targeted traffic, and of course they can be very low cost. The cons is that it can take time to rank in Google, and there's no guarantee that you're going to succeed. It can also be very easy to misjudge keywords without using the proper tools or knowledge. Here's an example of a good SEO keyword, best hunting knife. And this is just a screenshot from Longtail Pro showing the different stats. It gets searched for 1,900 times per month. I've just circled a couple of weaker types of sites here that might show that there is some weakness. A couple of sites that are less than a year old, that have very low domain authority and low keyword competitiveness. We're going to jump into this, what makes a good and bad SEO keyword, but this is an example of one that you might have potential to rank for. Now, I do want to clarify that you don't always have to use the word best in your keyword. Another example is one that nichepursuits.com is ranking for, how to make money from a website. A nice long tail phrase that gets searched for 390 times a month. You can see I'm ranking number 3 there in Google that brings in a little bit of traffic. So that's another good example of a SEO keyword. So overall, what does make a good SEO keyword? And trust me, we're going to dive into this a lot. This won't be the only slide that you see about this, but overall, it needs to be low competition. It needs to be very relevant to your niche or market. It needs to have at least some search volume. Again, it doesn't need to be a lot. It can be in that long tail, and many times that's very good. And any trends in the SERPs are also true for your site, meaning that if the search engine results are trending towards only showing e-commerce sites, you should probably have an e-commerce site if you want to rank for that keyword. And if it's easy to write an article about, that just makes it even better. Now let's cover viral keywords. In a nutshell, viral keywords, and often many times more the titles than the keywords themselves, are used to create social engagement, build authority, and generate large amounts of traffic from major social media platforms like Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr, Pinterest, Reddit, you name it. Now, what are some of the pros and cons of viral type keywords? Well, the pros, traffic can be extremely good. It can build a lot of authority in a short period of time. And it, of course, can lead to great opportunities and relationships. Some of the cons, on the other hand, many times it's an element of luck involved, whether or not your article is going to go viral. You may have to pay to play, especially on Facebook. Traffic can also be difficult to monetize, especially if you're not capturing emails. And again, that depends on what type of keyword that you're targeting, but many times these social keywords are not really easy to monetize. So, what makes it a good viral keyword? Well, first, again, think of these more as titles and not just specific keywords, because that's usually what they are. They often are highly emotional. The optimal character count is around 55. Optimal word count is 6. They need to have good grammatical structure. And you don't necessarily need to memorize all of this right now. We're going to have some cheat sheets and notes for you that you can refer back to if you don't get all of this right now. And we will be covering this in more depth in a future lesson. But it usually contains an even mix of common, uncommon, emotional, and power words, and I'll go into what all of these are. Impact words at the beginning and end of the keyword, and one of these types of articles, usually a list, how-to, or a question. Now for a little pro tip, there is a tool out there that measures viral potential that can be a lot of fun. It's over at coschedule.com/headline analyzer. You can find that. Just a quick example here of a great viral title / keyword. One that we have here is just how to tell if your baby is actually brilliant. That's something that you could see people might want to share a lot on Facebook or click or talk about. This is a how-to article. The character count is below that 55 we mentioned. There's 9 words. Some of the common words, how, if, is, to, and your. Uncommon words are actually and baby, and emotional words, how to, and then our power word there is brilliant. You can see this headline score received an 81 according to the CoSchedule tool that I just mentioned. So you can go over and play around with some different titles to see if you can come up with a viral title yourself, but this is just one particular example. Product or buying keywords can be very important. In a nutshell, these are keywords that demonstrate clear buying intent. They can be used to target visitors farther along in the buying process, so much more likely to get those conversions that you want to see. Now let's just go over some brief pros and cons of buying keywords. Pros is that they can be highly targeted traffic. Typically this converts really, really well, like I mentioned. It can also be very low competition. The cons on the other side is that often these keywords are very low volume. It can also be highly competitive in very competitive markets because everyone's trying to sell these people products. Also, you might be competing with very big brands, and there might be strong SERP lean. Again, it might be difficult to rank for these keywords if you're not an e-commerce player, because Google only wants to rank e-commerce sites for this particular type of keyword. So what makes it a great buying keyword? Of course, you always want it to be low competition overall. And again, we're going to dive deep into what makes a low competition keyword. But usually you want it to have a strong buying footprint. And there's certain words and phrases that you can add to your root keyword to make it better, such as best, price, reviews, for sale, where to buy, versus, and you can see a few others here. But there's often modifiers and buying footprints that you can spot good buying keywords. Let me give you an example of a good buying keyword. CB radio reviews. And of course, our friends over at rightchannelradios.com are ranking, it looks like #1, just right below the ads there in Google right now. This is a good buying keyword. You know somebody's far along in the process. They know they want to buy a CB radio, and they want reviews. They want to compare and contrast in particular. So they're getting down the road of the buying process. And so if you can be one of those sites ranking in Google, you can capture that sale. Now, something very important to remember, you don't have to segment all these keywords separately. Viral keywords don't just have to be viral keywords. SEO keywords don't just have to be SEO keywords. You can actually overlap your articles in content marketing, meaning that your viral keywords can also contain SEO keywords, which can also be buying keywords. Now, they don't have to, but you might target non-buying keywords to get people on an email list, for example, or you might create a viral-only blog post to attract traffic and build an audience. But that being said, it can be really powerful if they do overlap. And I want to stress that this is the best strategy if possible, whenever you can. You won't always be able to do this, but if you can combine a SEO keyword with a viral keyword, that's going to give you the most bang for your buck, the best results. Let's look at an example. So survivallife.com, they have an article called 36 Paracord Projects for Preppers. This is one that's done very well on social media. As you can see, it has over 6,000 likes. It's been shared a ton on Pinterest, over 12,000 pins of its images. So this article is getting a lot of direct traffic just from social media. So not only does this article do very well on social media, it actually does very well in the search engines, because the word paracord projects is a keyword that they're targeting. It gets searched for over 18,000 times per month. And guess who happens to rank in the top 5 in Google? Well, Survival Life does. And so they're getting both the social media, the viral aspect, because they wrote a great title and it's getting shared a lot, but they are also ranking naturally in Google. But that's not all. Because they are doing things properly throughout their article, this post actually targets lots of relevant keywords. So one of their subtitles there is paracord keychain with secret compartment. So their targeted keyword there, of course, is paracord keychain. And then they're selling something that is very highly relevant on their site. And so you can see how they have combined all of these things with not only viral keywords, but also SEO keywords, and then highly targeted traffic, and they're selling a very specific product. So it's a great example of how you can kind of combine the different types of keywords and make your site more effective. So with all these different types of keywords, how do you know which ones that you should be using? Well, you should really play to your strengths. If you have a big social following, write more viral articles. If you're an e-commerce store, target keywords with strong buying intent. And if you're open to a long-term strategy, targeting only SEO keywords can be a low-cost way to generate traffic. And of course, you should try to combine all of these strategies in a way that makes the most sense for you. So for example, from my own niche site, I started with 70 SEO articles that also targeted buying keywords. Then I focused on viral articles that I could promote through social media and outreach. So you can start one way and then shift to another, or mix and match the different keywords. So in future lessons, we're going to be diving deeper into each individual type of keyword, how to find those keywords, and then of course how to produce great content based on those keywords. So get ready for our next lesson. Thanks a lot.